Now, trade unions Saftu and Amcu have put their differences aside. They've joined forces with other organizations to fight against government austerity measures and job losses. The unions are planning a series of marches, rallies, as well as the occupation of mines. We're now joined by Saftu General Secretary, Mr. Zwelinzima Vavi. Mr. Vavi, good to see you as always. Thank you for joining us. Now, this is a historic partnership or collaboration, especially between yourselves and Amcu. Were you feeling a desperate need to do this, and why?
Well, we are very desperate to create as broadest front of working class formations as is possible. Yesterday was just one of the building blocks. This is not the finality. As you would have known that in July 2018, we put together 147 working class formations to meet and to look at how they can better coordinate their concerns and their demands. And AMCU was not part of that. Yeah. So yesterday was about ensuring that AMCU forms part of that broader family of the working class. And we know that this is just one of the many steps that we must take. It must continue going forward. For example, that we're speaking to COSATU is no longer a secret. And we want them inside the tent of the working class formations, not outside. We want all left-leaning political parties in the same tent to coordinate their demands and concerns.
How do you bring COSATU in when their proposal to create that SPV to source funds from the PIC to cut Eskom's debt, I think they're looking at about 250 odd billion rand there, you oppose that vehemently?
If you were to start by saying, let's look at our disagreement,
yes,
who is in the alliance that have brought us here and who's not, we will not form that unity. Yes. We'll go nowhere. If we were to look at emphasizing the areas of disagreements, even between Saftu and AMCU, we will go nowhere. And what we need now is to look at what are the areas of common concern. Because the situation we're facing in the country demands that we suppress perhaps some of the discomforts we have against one another, even at the personal level, but to embrace a vision of a common goal, which is to make South Africa a place that will not exclude the workers from what is happening in Cape Town today and from the broader economy, because that's the crux of the matter. I'm just emerging from a march now of the extended public works program workers, the early childhood developers, and as well as the workers employed by the school governing bodies.
Mr. Vavi, you launched the Cry of the Excluded. This is the program you're talking about, and that's what you're titling this. Among the things you're saying you want to do is marches, rallies, and also the occupation of mines. Speak to us about that. Why?
The rate at which workers are losing their jobs in the mines, in the agricultural sector, in the manufacturing sector, even now threatened in the public sector itself, where government continues to wield an axe that it will chop 30,000 jobs when the government knows, according to its own work, it is running in short of 100,000 jobs. That, to us, says we can no longer just rely on negotiating Section 189, because Section 189 gives you the inevitability. You can save some jobs, you can get some better package, but the crisis of unemployment is just deepening. So
it is a big crisis, but if your marches, your rallies occupying mines, does that not then disrupt, the economy? A lot of mines, you look at some of the prices for some of our resources and so forth. It's low prices. Platinum has been down. If you now occupy some of those mines, what does myself, the mine owner says, okay, I have no production. What do I do?
The majority have been excluded from the economy. The majority do not form part of the mainstream economy of South Africa. When they go to occupy the mines, to occupy ISCO, to occupy Saldanha Bay, where workers are going to lose their jobs in thousands, to occupy every other place where workers are being thrown into the streets to join the endless queue of the unemployed. That's not a disruption. That's exactly the cry of the excluded. To say, but we ought to be forming part of this economy. You ought to be doing certain things from tonight, from the State of the Nation address, to send out a signal to the unemployed, to the workers who have no future in their employment, that things are going to turn to a situation where the outsiders, the overwhelming majority, the 90% of the population, will now form part of the economy of the country.
Talking about the State of the Nation address tonight, Saftu, just please give me two important or key points that you would like to hear tonight.
We're expecting nothing new, honestly. We would have known if there was something major coming already. The ANC have had its January 8th statement. We were on our televisions, we watched. The ANC have had its Lekgotla. The cabinet have had its Lekgotla. What is going to happen tonight is basically the repetition of everything that we have heard since 1994. The irony that the leadership, which seems to be living in another island of wilderness, do not understand or seem to appreciate the extent of the depth of the crisis of poverty, unemployment, inequality, crime, and ecological disasters that are afflicting the majority of our people in South Africa. And we don't see a change of direction. It's not going to come tonight, not very soon, not under the leadership that doesn't seem to appreciate what is happening in the country.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Zwelinzima Mavavi. Of course, the president of Saftu, talking to us about the General Secretary of Saftu. They've teamed up with the president of AMCU, Joseph Mathunju, as well, in a historic teaming up. So we'll see how far that goes in terms of what they're promising, marches, rallies, as well as occupation of mines.